Hey, I'm not telling you, you don't have to work. I know you Miss Independent, you got it. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kimberly Louise. If you're new, if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I hope that you'll subscribe. It is so fun over here and you are so welcome here. I am a YouTuber that makes faith, homemaking, and lifestyle content here on YouTube, and it has been such a fun journey. You guys had a few questions for me about my journey as a stay-at-home wife and Christian homemaker. I prefer to call myself a Christian homemaker because that's what I am. I believe it is different. I believe that as a Christian, you just do things in your home that's different. So I'm gonna jump into the questions. But first, I want to share a little bit about me. So before I met my husband, you guys got to know I'm a super independent person, okay? So the idea of being a stay-at-home Christian homemaker never crossed my mind. I never thought that this would be my journey. I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I never thought that I wouldn't have kids while I was staying home, if that makes sense. And so I can remember just when my husband first had the conversation with me about how if his wife didn't want to work, he was okay with that. He just wanted his wife to do whatever her heart led her to do. And I remember thinking, like, for real, dude, like, I'ma always work because I'm a person who, I guess you could call me a little bit of a hustler. I don't know. I don't like to use that term, but I work for what I need to work for, right? And so when he said that, I was like, oh, we gonna have to worry about that. I'm gonna have to always work. Aren't we cocky? We be cocky. I was very much cocky, y'all. And I can remember my husband saying, hey, I'm not telling you, you don't have to work. I know you Miss Independent, you got it. Because you guys know I own my own home. I have my own, like, I'm a very driven person in general. So for me, it felt like working or being a stay-at-home wife was like a step down instead of like a step up in my life. And so the Lord has been teaching me that his will is always going to be greater than my will. And I'm so glad I followed his will because I am the happiest I've ever been. You guys, like, there was never a job that I worked that I was just like, oh my gosh, I love this job. This is the best job ever. No, like YouTube. YouTube is probably the best job I've ever had and I barely get paid for it. So I'm just saying, like, God has a way of kind of changing your mindset, and he definitely changed my mindset and thoughts he started to do that before I actually met my husband, but he started to kind of change those mindsets, but I was kind of trying to ignore him. Y'all know how we do. God be trying to press something on your heart and you be like, nah, that ain't gonna be me. Not knowing that he already knows the future, not realizing that he already knows what's about to happen in your future. So it might be good of you to take heed to what he's saying, right? So whenever the pandemic hit and my job basically was saying whether they were like, you can get a certification so you can still do this job or your job will just end, because it was one of those jobs that was contracted. So it wasn't like a permanent job anyway. And we just decided, like, hey, like, it's cool. Just don't worry about it. You don't even like that job anyway. Plus the money you'd be making to go there is basically the gas money it takes to get there. Like, it was a whole thing, right? So I ended up just leaving that job and I was enjoying just not doing anything for a little bit. That's nice. A little break is nice. But after a while, I'm like sitting at home twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, okay, I done cleaned everything. All right. I done made the grocery list. I done went to the grocery store. Like, you sitting there like thinking of all the stuff you could do and you're like, I need a job. So then I went on the job hunt, y'all. Like, I was serious. I was like, I'm about to get me a job. It's about to be great. And everybody was like, oh, it should be easy to get a work from home job. It's easy. And this was also the thing. I always wanted to work at home, no matter what I did. So I was like, okay, if I'm at work, I'm not working outside of the home. I'm working at home. Since it's like a pandemic, they should be ready to hire people, ready and willing to hire me. I got experience. I got this. I got that. And God was like, girl. So I never I got a few jobs. I would say that I would work contracted positions every year. So I do like the spring and summer, I would do like some little contracted positions. Every year I would do that just to bring in a little bit of extra money and just to kind of keep my head out there, you know what I'm saying? Put myself out there, okay? And so I would do that, and it was fine. But I don't know if you guys know this, but years ago, the Lord laid on my heart to start a YouTube channel, and I just never did it. Actually, the YouTube channel was started, but I never posted anything. And so it's just so funny how God works. Like, YouTube is the best job I've ever had, and it's the job I ran away from. And so, although the question was asked, do I miss working in corporate America? I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Do I miss working? No, because I'm currently working. I'm always working. But what I do miss is the people and the conversations and stuff like that. Because you guys know, as a homemaker, there's not a lot of homemakers. Believe it or not, there is not, at least where I am. Everybody's working, everybody's doing stuff. And if they are home, they have kids that they're taking care of and tending to. And so it's a little bit harder to just have someone to talk to, which is why I love my community here on YouTube. You guys are amazing. You guys keep me going. So thank you so much for your support, for your love, for your comments, for your engagement. I love y'all, okay? Do I miss working in corporate America? Girl, no. Do I miss the people? Yes. The other question that I got was, how do I balance intimacy with the Lord as a wife while caring for my home, husband, and myself? For me, God has always been first. So the first thing I do when I get up, I come upstairs, I talk to God. Well, I wake up and say thank you for waking me up, but I come upstairs, I talk to God. And then once I'm done talking to God, I kind of like to pour a little bit more into myself, and I do that by fitness, whether that's stretching, you know, doing a workout, getting on the elliptical, going for a walk. Like, I kind of do that sort of thing to kind of just pour into my temple and just make sure that I'm okay before I get to serving my household, meaning my household and my husband, before I get to cleaning, before I get to making him food, before I get to all of that stuff. Is just after I kind of sit with the Lord, kind of see how he's leading me in the day. And then after that, I go ahead and just pour into myself, because I think it's so important. I know that I can't pour from an empty cup. I can't give you what I don't have. And so if I'm pouring into myself, you'll reap the benefits of that. And so that is basically how I do it. Is balance is just keeping God first in anything. That's talking to him throughout my day, while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning. Y'all know I love me some worship music. I be jamming the worship music and all of that stuff. I would say, like, taking care of myself is probably the biggest thing, because you guys know, I feel like I say this in every video, but if you don't know by now, I have a herniated disc in my back, and when it flares up, baby, it flares up. So there are seasons where I cannot do what I would like to do for my home. And so caring for myself, working out, like taking the time to just let my body just is such a blessing. It has changed the way I see things. It's changed that hustle mindset that I once had. God has changed that through this homemaking, because I believe that God prepares you for the seasons that you're going to be in. Now, when I was single, I probably did have back issues, y'all, but I didn't realize it, because I was just going. I was always going. I was always moving. I was never just like not doing anything, if that makes any sense. Like, I was a busy beaver. Okay. So now that I've had time to like kind of sit down, kind of feel where my body is, God is saying, hey, you need to rest your body. You need to get that together. You need to go to sleep on time. You need to drink your water. You need to take your vitamins. You need to do all these things, because our bodies are temples. And as we steward our temple, when we steward our temple well, God is pleased. He lives there. If somebody comes to your house, you're not just going to let them come and stay in a messy house. Like, you're going to keep it clean. You're going to keep it up. And that's what I do when after I spend time with the Lord, when I'm just stretching, or if I'm doing a workout where I'm sweating, just whatever it is that you have to do to make sure that your temple is stewarded. That way you can pour into your husband and your household. Now, as far as like everything else outside of the home, those things literally come last. It's God, it's my house, like it's like God here, he at the top, my husband / me, because sometimes it's me first, sometimes it's him. It just depends on what's going on in the day, but I really try to make sure that I'm pouring into myself first, and then it's my household. So sometimes my household can sometimes be neglected if I know that, you know, maybe we haven't spent enough time together or something like that. Like everything else is on the back burner until me and hubby, you know what I'm saying, are connecting in a good way. So that's kind of what I do to care for everything. It's something I'm still learning and growing in. We've only been married 4 years, and God has just been showing me so much just about myself, about what he can do in me if I just allow him to. And I'm just so thankful that I know the Lord, like that our relationship is growing, is thriving, and spending time with him is my favorite thing. Like he's my source, you know, and without plugging into my source, I can do nothing. The Bible says we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. I know it's nobody but the Lord giving me strength to do all the things that I do. And I'm so thankful for him. And yeah, so if you guys have any other questions for me, I would love to answer them here on a video. Just drop them down in the comment section, and I will be sure to maybe do a video or a live or something if you guys are interested in that. So just let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Remember that God is God and we are not. So we trust him and we let him do his thing. See you guys next time. Bye.